back, everybody. My name is Eltimar, and we are going to be continuing our Let's Play of Shadowrun Dragonfall. Where we left off last time, we're about to go talk to Xvim about our run. Oh, the whole team looks like it's gathered up in the main room, because Blitz is not here right now. It would appear that everyone's here, but we're going to go to our computer first. See if we can get our payment for that last job. Re-salvage DVD. The screen flickers to life, and Melit's face appears. From the shifting background and ambient noise, it's clear this message was recorded on a portable device. Boy, Eltimar, just wanted to let you know I've met with limited success in working on that stack of DVDs. It's a thorny problem, but at least I'm making some headway. If you look on the table beside your DVD player, you will find another recovered disc. I wasn't able to salvage all of the files on it, but I think you might find what I did recover to be of interest. For my part, I'm going to continue working on the other DVDs. To tell you the truth, I wouldn't hold up much hope, though. They're all badly damaged and suffering from disc rot. Besides, I'll be in touch. My best to you and your team. Message ends and the image fades. You find yourself back at your inbox. One last DVD. The screen flickers to life and Melit's face appears. She wears a plastic smile. Boy again, Eltimar. Well, I've recovered one last DVD for you, but I'm afraid that's all you're going to get. You might as well use the rest as coasters. They're all beyond repair. If you look at the table beside your DVD player, you'll find the disc I salvaged. She pauses, a slight frown crosses her face. I'll be completely honest, that was a lie. To recover this last disc, I was forced to subcontract. Schrody is still a brute of a man. I am unimpressed with his manner, and his poor hygiene disgusts me, but he's very good with old things such as this. All credit where it's due. Still alive, Janice says. I guess I should thank you. You got me out of that horrible job alive. I don't think I could have made it on my own. What happened on that run took everything else away from me, but at least I'm still breathing. The Lodge turned me into a killer, Eltimar. That gnaws in my gut every minute of every day. And I still can't sleep at night. Innocent people, normal people, died because of what I did. And you know why they made me do it? Because they could. I don't know, maybe this doesn't bother you. You're a Shadowrunner after all. You kill people all the time. Just another day at the office, huh? Well, I'm not like you. I can't just kill people on the job and forget about it the next day. This is gonna haunt me for the rest of my life. I don't know how to live like this, but it's still better than not living at all, and that's what I keep telling myself, and so I figured I might as well tell you too. Jay. We can claim payment for the 2 jobs, so the Mark 6 extraction. You submit the job as finished and await your client's response. A few minutes later, a message pops on the screen. Schmidt, Eltimar, to call your work unsatisfactory would be an understatement. When I said we wanted the prototype, it should have gone without saying that we wanted it intact and operational. You technically fulfill the terms of our arrangement, so you'll get paid, but don't ever expect to work with us again, Schmidt. A moment later, a second message pops into our terminal. We got all our monies. We got $37.50 into our personal account, the rest of it got transferred around to everyone else. And the pharma cleanup job, also we get paid for. An excellent job, Eltimar. You're a credit to your profession, and I would not hesitate to hire you again. Your fee will be transferred into your account immediately. Books. And we got another 2,500. We only have one active job right now. That's the As Technology Sabotage run, but let's walk away. We have a bunch of money now. We can actually go shopping and buy some gear, but first we'll talk to Amstel. We can finally get some decent gear. As you step forward, the rest of your team falls silent. Amstel shifts his face to you. You can see the worry on his face. Eltimar, I have new information, and I'm afraid it isn't good. So you sit over the comm. Go on, we're listening. 2 years ago, a large shipment of highly lethal radioactive bioweapon disappeared en route to a storage facility in Dresden. The weapon was designated X-15. I have traced the path of the missing shipment. It was delivered to Harfeld Manor. Well, that sounds horrible. It is. I've heard of this stuff before. Back in the service, we called it Doom. I've never run across it in the wild, but I've heard enough horror stories to know that I don't want to. The stories that you've heard are correct. This Doom is an extremely dangerous substance. He gestures to a technical document on his computer display. I've been reading up. To this day, the story of Doom remains a cautionary tale in biotech circles. Monoclonal antibody technology is strictly regulated now, and this substance is one of the reasons why. What does it do exactly? He clears his throat and reads aloud from the information on the screen. Doom kills by destroying a host's muscle tissue via radioactive decay. Each individual Doom antibody is bound to a radioactive bismuth-212 isotope. When introduced into a host, these antibodies bind to the surface-level muscle tissue. The tissue is then killed with alpha radiation. This process repeats itself until the host wastes away and dies. Jesus. Iger nods grimly. I've heard that Doom was deployed in a couple of border skirmishes back in 41. After seeing what it did to people up close, the UCAS passed a unilateral ban on the stuff. If that doesn't tell you how bad it is, nothing will. Okay, so I hesitate to ask, but why would a dragon, or what would a dragon want with this Drek? Nothing good. That much goes without saying. The development worries me, Eltimar. It worries me greatly. So the dragon has a bioweapon. Alright, good to know, but that doesn't change what we need to do. I'm with Eltimar on this one. This is interesting, scary even, but doesn't change anything. I mean, it ups the stakes if Firewing's allowed to carry out her plans, whatever those might be, but we're gonna stop her before that happens. That was always the plan. As far as I'm concerned, it's still the plan now. I agree with Dietrich. We need to focus on what's in front of us. Whatever the dragon's larger plans might be, the fact is that she's after us. We shouldn't let ourselves get distracted by anything else. Amsel is slow to respond. Finally, he nods. Yes, I concur. For the time being, we must continue forward. And that means you must continue working towards raising Alice's fee. I'll leave the matter in your capable hands, Eltimar. When you've acquired the necessary funds and are ready to head back to the rabbit hole, let me know. From there, we'll discuss our next steps. Iger nods. Good. If you need me, I'll be getting prepped for the next run. Right behind you, love. Dietrich casts a backwards glance at Glory. If any of this has any impact on her, she doesn't show it. Come on, Glory, let's go. Everyone is moving. Let's see if they have any conversation paths we can do. Alright, Dietrich raises a bottle at your approach. Hey again, boss, you need something? I was thinking of what you told me earlier. You said your idol was going to make you pick a fight you couldn't win. He shrugs. It's bound to happen eventually. Probably sooner rather than later. Isn't there something that you can do to stop that from happening? Well, I suppose I could refuse, but that wouldn't be a good idea, especially not now. Remember, boss, the Dragon Slayer is where my magic comes from. If I turn away from him, you better believe he'll turn away from me. Besides which, I don't even know if I can refuse him anymore. He's been with me for so long. I don't know where he stops and I begin. He grins at you. Don't you worry about me, boss. I've known that this was coming my entire life, and when it happens, I'll go down in a blaze of glory the likes of which you can't imagine. That is a promise. What if you were to pick a fight with a different kind of dragon, say, maybe a gang or corporation? He nods. Hey, that's an interesting idea. If it were big enough and heinous enough, he might be satisfied. Sorry, 1 sec, there we go. I never tried to bargain or negotiate with the Dragon Slayer before. I'm not sure how I feel about it, and I don't know how he'd take it either. The Dragon Slayer doesn't like to be questioned, and his temper's even shorter than mine. But I'll tell you what, boss. I'll think about it. Can't really believe your idol wants to commit suicide. Of course not. The Dragon Slayer doesn't want me to die, but he does want me to kill dragons. That isn't supposed to be safe or easy. It isn't my idol's fault that I'm getting too old to keep up with his wishes. Alright, tell me about Alexander. Nothing new, boss. He's adjusting. Any thoughts on the last run? There was nothing about that run that didn't disgust me. What they did to that troll? He shudders. It wasn't right, boss, on any level. I don't care what anyone else tells you. You listen to me. Eltimar, what you did, killing that thing, it was the right call. Yeah, it cost us some Nuyen, but letting that thing live would have been a travesty. Alright, that's enough for now, Dietrich. Nope, don't need anything from you, I guess. So let's pet the puppy. That is important. Alright, Iger. Iger glances up from her PDA at the sound of your approach. Eltimar, this isn't the best of times. Her body language is self-assured, but you can hear the anxiety in her voice. Something has her worried, and in a big way. Sorry about that, I had to take a quick phone call. Alright, talk to me, Iger. Something's puts you on edge, I want to know what it is. There's a long pause. Finally, she turns her PDA so you can look at the screen. This. The image that greets you is a holopic of a rail-thin orc with jet black hair. Who am I looking at? His name is Yuli Kozlov, but he's better known by his handle, the Engineer. He's a mercenary, ex-Spetsnaz, one of the best in his field. I ran up against him in my KSK days. Tell me more. His specialties are social engineering and wet work. In practice, he spends most of his time paving the way for organized crime syndicates to seize new territory. He sets up bribes, takes out key members of opposition, and forges alliances with existing street gangs, all of the groundwork that the syndicate needs. He's extremely bad news, Eltimar, and my contact spotted him in Schottenest. That's a little too close to the Cruise Bazaar for comfort. Exactly. I've seen what the Engineer can do up close. My KSK unit tracked him a few years ago. I had him in the sights of my rifle, but I was ordered to hold fire. We couldn't afford to give away our position. To this day, I regret obeying that order. I saw what happened to the town that he was softening up after the syndicate moved in. Eltimar, I have to stop him before it's too late. What happened to that town? It can't be allowed to happen again in Schottenest. Agreed. Do you know who he's working for now? The safest bet would be a Russian syndicate, but there's no telling. His client list is longer than you'd expect. Examples? Well, I know for a fact he's worked for the mafia groups operating inside and outside of Russia, and he put a lot of time in with the Labachevsky syndicate. He's taken contracts with the Triads as well. My contacts tell me that he's even done a few jobs for Timanis. It's a hell of a resume. Yeah, it is. She bites her lip and stares at the image on the PDA for a moment longer. So long story short, I'm gonna have to step out for a mission or two. I know how important that it is that we resolve the fierce wind situation. I get it, but I can't sit back and let this happen. She shakes her head. I won't. If the cruise bazaar is at risk, this is too important a job to rest on the shoulders of one person. I'm going with you. End of story. Alright, fearless leader, you're right, I could use the help, but the others, they can't know about this. This is going to have to be a quiet job. 2 people max. Are you sure you're prepared for this? If you can't hold up your end, I'll be better off on my own. Don't worry about me. I'm solid. Yeah, I know you are. Grab your things and meet me at Der Weinkeller. I've got a contact who's going to join us there, and he can help us figure out our next step. Alright, Gloria's turn. So that's our next mission. Glory favors you with a weak smile, her expression cautious. You're suddenly very aware of how very small she is. Boy, Eltimar, I gotta admit I've been dreading this. So, now that you know what I've done, what I am, are you here to tell me off? I wouldn't blame you if you were. No, Glory, I'm not here to tell you off. Truth be told, I wanted to check in and see how you were doing. Not great. Struggling. About how you'd expect. We left off in a bad place last time. I've been thinking about your story and I have a question for you. Yeah, what's that? You've escaped from Harrow, but he's still out there. If you're looking to atone for your past, don't you think shutting him down would be a good place to start? She holds her silence for a long time. Finally, she nods. Yes. I've been thinking about this a long time, Eltimar, and every time that I've gotten close to making a decision, I've turned and run away again. No more running. I'm ready to face this thing, but I can't do it alone. I'm gonna need your help. That's the idea. Alright. For you to do this, we need to be clear on what our goal is. There are a lot of innocent people in that place, the lost street kids who got sucked in by Marta and the other girls like her. Saving them won't be easy, but it feels like the right thing to do. But then there's also Harrow to consider. I want that man dead. Lord knows he deserves it, and if we don't make killing him our top priority, he might get away from us. And that happens, if he runs, he'll eventually start up another cult somewhere else, where we can't find him, and all of this will have been for nothing. We're likely to run into other complications as well, so I think we need to make a decision here up front. What would you do in my place? Rescue the kids or take down Harrow? I don't think we can manage both. We wipe out the cult starting with Harrow. As long as he's alive, he can just start all of this over again. We'll save any cultists we can, but the ones that are too far gone will have to be put down. Harrow needs to die. I don't want any of the other kids hurt or killed, but Harrow, that bastard, has to pay for what he did to me. She stops, as if suddenly unsure of herself. A moment later, a newfound confidence seems to seize her. She looks to you and there's fire in her eyes. He has to pay for what he did to all of us. I won't let this happen again. He needs to die. You're damn right he does. Meet me at the van when you're ready to go. It's a long drive from here to Schonbuch. She nods. I'll see you there. Alright, so we have 2 side missions to do. I wonder if Blitz has a side mission as well. Probably. Well, we already have Blitz's side mission, don't we? Yeah. The people that are missing money. So we have 3 side quests to do. How much money do we have? $9,000. We need to go spend some of our money. Our hard-earned casholas. On some gear. Step 1 is going to be a new deck. A better deck and some programs. Got that drone fixed yet? I do. Just finished before you arrived. There's a complication though. What is it? The drone's got a custom AIOS stack on it. Someone wrote a code that sits on the bootloader and configures the drone to only accept commands from a specific user. The thing works like a computer virus, so there's no way I can rip it out unless I got another brain from this model of drone. Before you ask, yes, I looked into that. Problem is, this is a stolen corp drone, a discontinued model of a stolen corp drone. There are no parts for this thing on the market around here, so unless you know who locked this thing up so tightly, you're not going to get more use out of it than a doorstop. Jack. Well, I'll ask around about its owner then. Let's see what we got. We can buy. Let's sell some items first of all. We have all these random guns that we're not using. And some of these grenades that we're not using. All these... we should probably keep the Hyper. No. We want the Jazz, I think it is. Yeah, AP and quickness. Although Hyper does give accuracy, so we should keep one of those. I'm gonna get rid of the Blitz and the Nitro. Yeah. Oops, shit, that wasn't what I meant to sell. Although I don't think we need basic medkits anymore. Advanced medkits are way better. Let's sell those. What else did I sell by accident? I'll keep the Blitz, or the Hyper. Sell the Nitro. Bright grenades are good, but we have Cavalier ones, so we'll get that one. The phosphorus grenades are nice to have. We can sell the AK-97, we don't need that. We'll sell the Ren Recruit Craftwork, because we're going to be buying a new deck in a second here. And we'll sell the shotgun. Alright. Let's buy a new cyber deck, which is going to be the Fuji Virtua X. It's a nice one. I think it's the best one we can use. And what other programs can we get? Okay, we're going to get Blaster level 2, because it's really good. We are going to grab Killer level 2. What's in his shield or medic? 60 IP is pretty good, and shield is not bad too, so we'll grab shield as well. We can only have 5 programs though, so Blaster, Killer, Medic, Shield. Actually, no, Erosion's is very, very good. Maybe we should take Erosion instead of Killer. Yeah. Erosion's pretty important to have. What's the cooldown on Erosion? Cooldown's 2 though, and Killer only has a cooldown of 1. For 100 damage. That's a tough call. Our ESPs are not amazing yet. We have an Assassin ESP, we should probably buy... No, that's okay, okay. This is fine. This is a good loadout. Shield is pretty decent. Medic is important. Blaster's quite good. Yeah, Erosion's really good. Fine. Alright, so we only have our Smart Link gun, which we're gonna try and replace in a sec here. Alright, let's confirm that. We spent a ton of money though. 7,000 left. We're gonna go to the medical center though first. Let's go see what we can buy for Bionics before we go buy any guns. Because yes, well, an upgraded smart gun would be very nice and probably increase our damage a little bit. Character upgrades are really important and will probably help out quite a bit more. Let's go talk to the good doctor. Yeah, doctor. Do you want to give me some cyberware, please? Thank you. Alright, we can get leg articulation, which is +1 dodge, +1 quickness, which is pretty nice. The Omnitech Cyber Leg Alpha gives +8 hit points and +1 quickness and dodge, but it does way more essence damage. We're more looking for the BioWare versions of things. What do we have around? The As Technology Cyber Leg is pretty good, but again, that huge essence cost. So dodge and throwing weapons, we don't need that. +1 dodge, +1 throwing weapons, +1 movement, don't need that. Really? What else do we got? Really not a whole lot else. +1 dodge, +1 quickness is very useful. It's very expensive. But it would help quite a bit. What arm stuff? I don't want some good arm gear. But not auto-injectors. +1 strength, 5 HP. +1 quickness, +1 strength for this arm augmentation, which is kinda nice. Oh, this is a tough call. +1 dodge, +1 quickness is pretty useful. Alright, we'll grab one of those. You know what, I'm gonna ponder this. I'll be right back. I'm gonna give this some thought. Alright, I'm back. I've made up my mind. I've decided we're gonna get some BioWare. Alright, we're gonna get enhanced leg articulation on both legs, which will give us +2 quickness in total and +2 dodge in total, which is pretty good. We'll eventually get the arm ones. We're out of money right now, unfortunately, but we'll get the arm ones at some point, at which point we'll be able to have +4 quickness in total. So our quickness is now 8, which is pretty decent. Our rifle and dodge, or our rifle and range combat skills need some work, but we're low on karma currently. Do we have any... There's a bunch of quest areas. Why do we have a quest area inside here? Oh, right, because we have the DVDs to read. I guess we should probably go do that. Oh, no, we can also go to the van, which I believe is down through there. Let's see what this DVD has to offer us. Load the third DVD. Play track 1. It is 2042, August 5th. I was thinking about Adrian today, not as he was when he disappeared, not as the fabled Dragon Slayer or the big-time CEO of Dial Defense. I was thinking about when we were kids. Well, I was always more of a kid than he was, of course. He's 15 years older than me. In a way, he was more like a parent than a brother. Winters pauses. His gaze drops to an invisible point on the table in front of him. So I was thinking about this time when we were on holiday. Our parents took us to the island of Pole to enjoy the beach. I must have been about 5 years old, and Adrian was 20. It'd be his last family vacation with us. A year later, he began his meteoric rise to fame and fortune. But on this trip, he was my brother. And when I fell out the little paddle boat that our parents rented and started sinking fast into the Baltic, he was the one who dove in to rescue me. You saved my life that day, Adrian. I'll love you forever for that, and I will find you. I owe you that much. June 6th, 2049. Found an old news article that mentions Adrian from way back in 2036. It was printed in a financial magazine called Dash Finance Wesson, one of those chic print-based mags that they produce for the retro crowd. There aren't any clues in there, but it's good to see someone else acknowledge his existence. SK stock suffers in post-buyout brain drain, November 12th, 2039. In the aftermath of the Dragon Loftweir's hostile takeover of Satyr Group Schwerindustrie Gesellschaft, SKI, a continuing brain drain of high-level executives is causing ongoing worry among company shareholders. The company stock took a major hit when Loftweir deposed former CEO Wilhelmina Graf Benoit last August. 3 months later, long-held power positions within the SK1 Empire continue to empty as the Dragon consolidates his power base. The most recent casualties of Loftweir's takeover include Alexandra Kobayashi, former COO of Satyr Munitions, Mathaus Donor, former treasurer of Ruhr Datafax, and Werner Harding, former CEO of Dial Defense, whatever. Harding stepped into the role to replace Dr. Adrian Vauclair, who disappeared under mysterious circumstances 2 years ago. Winter's face winks back onto the screen, so there you have it. That's what they have to say about Adrian a mere 2 years after his disappearance. My brother, the footnote. While this track does load, it's clearly corrupted. The screen fills with meaningless stream of text. Okay. Meaningless stream of text, and it is my Dr. Vauclair, it's my sad duty to inform you that by unanimous vote of the Officerat, your position as CEO of Dial Defense will be terminated at the end of this calendar month. Your continued misallocation of company funds to pursue personal agendas cannot and will not be tolerated any longer. The Supervisory Board is not unsympathetic to your mental state. The trauma which you endured during your pursuit of the Dragon Fürschwinge must have been enormous, but your continuing obsession with the Dragon, the dead Dragon I might add, has proven a negative influence on this company and an unjustified drain on company resources. The board wishes you all the best in your future endeavors. We have prepared a generous severance package to assist you in this time of transition. If there's anything more we can do for you to help, please don't hesitate to ask. Alright, last DVD. Track 1. It is April 28th, 2050. This is it, the interview. Took some time digging to find it, but here he is, my big brother, back in his prime. The note disappears. After a moment, the screen goes blank. Suddenly, an image of a news correspondent flashes onto the screen, accompanied by a brief orchestral flourish. The timestamp reveals that it's August 22nd, 2012. Thank you for joining us. We are coming to you live from the ruins of Sangerhausen, the 5th Harz mountain town to be sacked by the Dragon Fürschwinge. Standing by my side is the head of Dial Defense, Dr. Adrian Vauclair. Dr. Vauclair has been hailed as a leader in the effort to bring down Fürschwinge and to end her reign of terror. Dr. Vauclair, tell us about your efforts to bring down the dragon. Killing the monster has proven difficult to say the least. Her speed and maneuverability in the air are extraordinary, and her scales repel small arms fire, and her breath can melt steel. Our R&D teams have been working around the clock to devise a weapon capable of downing the beast. In the interim, we are providing material support for the Luftwaffe's attempt to shoot her down via conventional means. Herr Vauclair, why are you directing Dal's defense energies to the killing of Fürschwinge? Are there corporate interests at play in this? Corporate interest? No, this is a matter of human interest. Innocent lives are being extinguished at an appalling rate. I'm in a position to put an end to the slaughter, and so I must. It really is that simple. Dr. Vauclair, you must understand my skepticism. Our viewers aren't looking for a PR statement. They came to us for the truth. I'm afraid that I don't have time to go back and forth on this. Your viewers can think whatever they wish. My concern is helping the people affected by this tragedy. In that case, Doctor, thank you for sharing your valuable time with us. You're very welcome. To the viewers at home, stay safe and watch the skies. Salvation is coming, I promise. Again, that was Dr. Adrian Vauclair, CEO of Dial Defense. Dr. Vauclair is the chief architect of the military's current plan to bring down the dragon Fürschwinge. Stay tuned for more late-breaking news on the battle for the Harz Mountains. We'll be right back. Number 2. It's November 17th, 2054. Holy shit, I just stumbled onto some of Adrian's old lab notes. I'm not gonna say how I came across these, someone might get hurt if the wrong people watch this. But I've checked them against some of Adrian's old handwriting samples, and they're legitimate. Holy shit, this is big. Alright, back up, slow down, breathe. He takes a moment. So these notes, they pretty much confirm something that I've always expected. The Luftwaffe didn't shoot down Fürschwinge. I mean, they tried. They pumped thousands of rounds into the air around her. They lobbed rockets at her for months. They lost a lot of attack helicopters and fighter craft in the air in the process. But none of these things were responsible for taking her down. The Dragonfall was caused by an experimental warhead, one that Adrian and his Dial Defense think tank designed. I don't understand the science of it, not even a little bit, but from what I can piece together, it looks like they designed some sort of chemical, radiological agent that acts on the metagene. I don't think that they fully understood what they were doing. It was 2012 after all. I mean, the process worked, but I don't know if they understood why it worked. Anyway, when a warhead full of this stuff comes into contact with a dual-natured creature, like a dragon, say, it drives a wedge between that creature's physical and astral forms. The body gets put into a sort of a hibernation state, and the spirit is forced out. It also looks like this process can maintain that state of separation indefinitely, and that's a pretty horrifying thought. A discorporated body is supposed to die in a few hours. I've heard horror stories about ghost-walking mages getting trapped in astral space, unable to rejoin with their meat. I heard they went crazy from the pain. If what I'm reading is accurate, it's entirely possible that Fürschwinge has been trapped outside of her body for over 40 years. Winters pushes his chair back and slaps the table in front of him. This is why Adrian was so cagey about the subject of Fürschwinge after the Dragonfall. He knew for a fact that she was alive, even if only technically. Her body crashed down in the socks, sure, but she wasn't dead. The government wouldn't let Adrian tell the public about any of this, of course. They would interfere with the lie that they were feeding us, that the Firewing was dead, and that everyone was safe, and that people should stop hiding in their basements and get back to work again. But privately, he always said that she was still out there, somewhere deep in the socks. I always thought that he was paranoid, but I was wrong. He knew. So what does all of this mean? It means that the stories I got from the Ghost Rat suddenly sound a lot more plausible. It means that Fürschwinge is definitely alive, and that Adrian's disappearance is unquestionably tied to her survival. It also means that Germany is in deep shit, because if Fürschwinge is still alive, it's only a matter of time before she rears her ugly head again. Okay, that's enough for one night. I'm gonna go get drunk. It is May 15th, 2033 on this one. Look, Adrian, I understand you, Lord knows I do, but you've got to drop this dragon fixation. People are starting to talk. There's a camera cut, and you find yourself looking at a young, handsome Dr. Adrian Vauclair. He wears a slight smile on his face. Oh, they're talking, are they? What a terrible shame. Damn it, Adrian, this is serious. You're a public figure. You could lose everything if you don't keep these ridiculous fairy tales to yourself. Hermie, my theory is they're not, as you call them, fairy tales. Dragons are real. I saved Germany for one. Have you forgotten? No, of course not. Everyone knows that you killed the Firewing. Stopped, not killed. Fine, stopped, whatever. Winter swipes a bottle off the table in front of him, drains it, and drops it to the floor. Call it whatever you want, but Adrian, you're the only one who's still obsessed with the damn thing. There aren't that many of them, and they're not taking over the world. Vauclair's voice is quiet, soft. Such is the cry of the cancer patient, unaware of what's killing him. I'm fine, not to worry, I'll smoke another cigarette. What's the harm? He doesn't see what's happening, but he winds up dead all the same. Winter snorts. There he's being maudlin. Look, Adrian. Vauclair shakes his head, and his smile has disappeared. You mark my words, Hermie. Within 5 years, corporations, even countries, will fall to these creatures, and the worst part is, nobody will care. Oh, people will tut-tut about it. There might be a protest or two, but no one will actually do anything to stop them. The immortal, all-powerful, utterly pitiless reptiles will seize more and more of our power, wealth, and territory. And we, foolish, short-sighted mortals, will never get it back. Winters chuckles uncomfortably, raises his hands in the air in a supplicating gesture. Come now, Beauclair talks over his brother's interruption. We could solve the problem, of course, but we as a species are unwilling to invest energy into the problems that aren't staring us in the face. As it was with climate change, so it is with dragons. I've accepted that, but you can't ask me to stop caring about it. Winters shakes his head. You're hopeless, Adrian. Fine, by all means, keep caring. Just keep the conspiracy theories to yourself. I'm telling this to you for your own sake. Beauclair sighs. He looks incredibly tired. Yes, Hermie, you're right, of course. I mustn't jeopardize my credibility with the masses. Winter's expression turns serious. His voice lowers. It's not your credibility I'm worried about. Talk is talk, but sometimes... He pauses and shakes his head. Sometimes I worry you're really gonna go back to the socks. Beauclair's tone softens again. Hermie, Winters cuts his brother off. A new intensity burns in his face. Please, big brother, just drop all this. Stop hunting the Firewing and start living your life again. If you won't do it for yourself, then for Christ's sake, do it for me. Beauclair nods, then looks away from the screen. Alright, Hermie. I'll try. Track 4. Meet and mate singles dating profile. Jolly Green Winters. Last active, January 15th, 2054. He is male, meta-type human, Caucasian, muscular, he's fitty, he's looking for a female, he is athletic. Oh no, he's looking for an HED, I don't know what that means. Athletic, 25 to 30. So he's looking for someone half his age or lower. I'm a fun-loving guy, or sorry, half his age or just above. I'm a fun-loving guy who's also a great listener. I love hiking, clubbing, and all kinds of pets. I'm looking for a cute, funny, adventurous girl who's down to party. I don't respond to profiles without pics. No orcs, no trolls. Sorry, ladies. Ejected the DVD. Alright. So, in the next video, we're going to start our journey to Glory's mission, I think. Get ourselves some spare karma. Go kill a dude. An evil dude. But for now, I'll leave you guys here. Like always, if you have any suggestions or comments, please leave them below. And we'll see you all next time. Take care.